Hello, everyone. What's it like to be a Christian in the Middle East? Their numbers have declined over the decades, and an increasing number of them face religious persecution. But many who remain there live in cultures steeped in tradition and ancient rituals. A writer and photojournalist from Italy wanted to see what daily life is like for these people. So they traveled through the region, listened to stories, and took these amazing photographs that you're seeing on your screens right now. The result, a fascinating book project on life as a Christian minority in the Middle East. War journalist Andrea Milluzzi and photojournalist Linda Dorigo join me from CNN Beirut right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Andrea, if I could start with you, having traveled extensively in the region, what is your take on how Christians are faring in the Middle East right now?
But right now the situation is very complicated and it's very different from country to another country. We can say that there are some persecution, some violence against Christians, especially in regions like Iraq, for example, and Syria, especially now, which the war is going on since 3 years. And in Egypt too, after the revolution, where Christians and Muslim Egyptian men and women were together to fight against Mubarak. Now, after the Muslim Brotherhood came in, the Christians was very, very scared from the persecution of Salafists in some countries, in some villages in the Upper Egypt. But now the situation is changing again in Egypt with the coming back of the army in the power. So the situation is always changing, but the most important thing and the common thing coming from Egypt to Iran is that Christians are living in that countries, are living in the Middle East, to come to Europe or to USA or to Australia, because they don't see the future here in that country for these ancient communities.
Andrea, I want to pick up on Syria, which you mentioned there. I know that you and Linda both traveled to Syria. This is a very, very scary time for Christians in that country. Tell us about some of what you experienced, what you saw.
Yes, we did it just last week, and we did just on the Damascus area, and so we did not reach all the country. We don't have the sensation of all the country, but in Damascus area, in the suburbs of Damascus, Christians are very scared, who remained, because many of them are leaving, many of them are in Lebanon, and many others are in Europe again. They live all together in some district of Damascus, like Bab Tuma, or they just stay close to the army because they are very scared for the militants of ISIS or for Nusra or for the militias of Islamist power that rules the north of Syria. And they escape from Dara, they escape from Adra, they escape from Malula. That was lost by regime forces like 1 month ago. And everyone escaping, they say that they suffer from very heavy persecution and violence from that militants. That's why many of them decided to form militias, Christian militias, fighting with the army, the regular army, against Nusra and ISIS again. So there are the two sides of Christians living there.
Sure.
Who escape, who stay fighting and hoping for a better future.
Let me bring in Linda. You took some amazing images during this trip. I was struck by this picture captured in an Iranian village. It shows an old woman kissing her nephew. Tell us a little bit about this image and what we're looking at here.
Yeah, sure. This picture was taken in Iran, in the village of Pataver on August 2011. And this woman, Olga, was just kissing her nephew outside the cemetery. And we went together, and when we went inside the cemetery, she starts to jump from a grave to another, and she starts to tell me the history of her family, that all was born there.
Yeah, it's a very, very striking image. I want to put up another one because we want to get as many of them in as possible. Tell us about this image that we're going to show now from Egypt. It shows some monks walking in the desert at noon. What are we looking at here? Tell us the backstory here.
Yes. Yeah, here we were in the region of Upper Egypt, just close to the village of Malawi. And we visit these monks, and it was July, August. It was very hot. It was at noon, and I went with them, and we walked through the desert. They want to show me the old church, and I don't know, I was just following them, and suddenly I had like a vision of these two monks walking on the moon, and we were just like all together, and it was so, it was an emotion, as with Olga before in the cemetery.
And one last image that I want to share with our viewers, it's our image of the day here on News Center. It's of a little boy in Armenia, in Turkey, I should say, in the old capital, Ani. Talk to me about this. It's almost surreal.
Yeah, but it was also surreal also for me, honestly. It was at the border between Turkey and Armenia, in the former Armenian capital, Ani. And, you know, I was just walking around this amazing scenario because it's full of ancient churches. And suddenly I just turned around, and I saw this young kid coming from I don't know where, and it was just looking around him as an angel. So it was just coming up from, I don't know, really I don't know where.
Where it came from. They are beautiful images. We thank you both for joining us today on News Center to share your experiences and to talk about the images. Thank you so much, Andrea Milluzzi and Linda Dorigo, joining us from CNN Beirut. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, great.